Hello fellow collectors, and welcome to Gallic Gun Toys. Thank you very much for joining me in today's video. And today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different, and we are going to be discussing how things are in the world at the moment, at this current point in time, with this whole virus epidemic. Wherever you are in the world, I'm sure you're probably dealing with some of the fallbacks from it. I do hope that you and your family are all healthy and doing well. It is a really strange time, especially for anyone that has elderly family members or anyone with underlying health conditions. It's kind of a scary time. I myself have severe asthma, so I am in the high risk category. So although I am a lot less worried about myself and more worried about the people around me, I do actually live with my elderly grandparents who are in their late 70s and 80s, so I am really concerned for them, and also some of the other people, friends and stuff that are really close to me that are also high risk as well. Yeah, a lot less worried about myself and a lot more worried about the people around me, as I'm sure a lot of you probably are as well. Now for me, unfortunately, I'm not in isolation 24/7. It's kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing, depending on how you look at it. I work in a supermarket here in Australia. For a lot of you, and a lot of you will know that that is considered an essential service. So right there on the front lines with just dealing with the public, it can be a little bit scary at the moment. Not scary, just a little bit concerning, because a lot of people are very ignorant. A lot of people don't really take any consideration to the people working in a supermarket. They don't really care. They care about themselves, and they're not really worried about us or keeping a safe social distance from us. So we have had to really sort of maintain that ourselves, those of us that work in retail across the world. I'm sure a lot of you are quite aware of this. Luckily, things are getting better here in our country, as now they have restrictions starting in a couple days. It's currently the 5th of April here in Australia at the time of filming this video. And starting, I believe it's tomorrow, Monday, they will actually start implementing limits of how many customers can be in a store at one time. So that actually makes me a lot more relieved to be working in a supermarket. But I have to say, like, living in Australia, I feel we haven't been too bad. Like, the response here from our government hasn't been too bad. Like, obviously, this is an unprecedented time across the world, and a lot of leaders haven't dealt with this sort of thing. A lot of people don't know what this was going to look like or how things were going to shape out. So I think it's fair to give a bit of leniency to our leaders, especially at a time like this. It's just a really unexpected turn of events. If someone had told me ever that we would be going into pretty much self-quarantine and pretty much it would be lockdown and everything would be closed except for things like supermarkets and pharmacies and doctors' surgeries, because of like a virus similar to the flu, I would have told you you were crazy. But here we are, 2020, April, and things are pretty full on. I went down and did some shopping a couple days ago, guys, and everything in our local shopping centre, like it's a pretty large shopping centre for the area, and everything's gone. Travel agents completely just stripped out. So I am afraid for businesses and just the world's economy, not just my country's economy. Like, our dollar was already pretty much in the toilet, you know, like the Australian dollar versus the American dollar is only like the Australian dollar buys like 62 American cents. So it's not great at the moment, especially for collectors like myself and most of you who probably order a lot of stuff internationally, and that can make things very challenging. It's definitely going to be a challenging time for everyone. I sincerely feel for anyone that's lost their job and is suffering financially. My heart goes out to you guys. I can't imagine the stress you're dealing with just to survive or feed your family, and just my heart goes out to you like tenfold. Because I know we're all suffering, but some of you out there are suffering a lot more than the rest of us. Some of us, like myself, are still lucky enough to be working, you know, and it's really unfortunate for just so many people. Luckily, I have noticed a lot of the world governments seem to be sort of following Australia's lead and some of the other countries' lead, where they are going to be paying people that have lost their job a fair amount of money to stay on their feet. Hopefully the governments keep working with this, and I think that's just great. But like I said, here in Australia, things aren't too bad. To date, we've only lost currently 30 people to the coronavirus as of the 5th of April. And that is really good considering the rest of the world. Like, our number of cases are definitely probably the lowest. I am very, very thankful for that, and it's good to see, like, now the streets are pretty much empty. A lot of people are staying home, and that's the main reason I wanted to make this video, guys, is, yeah, it does suck being stuck inside. Like, this is my weekend off, and I usually try and get out, you know, a little bit on my weekends off, try and go for a toy hunt or something, but the reality is, you know, if I'm not going to work or doing shopping, I pretty much have to be at home, and that really sucks, and I'm sure a lot of you are really quite annoyed by this, especially those of you that are a lot younger and maybe don't see the sense in it. But the reality is, you know, it's kind of, I think the responsibility is on everyone to be super hygienic, make sure you're washing your hands all the time, but if you can, stay home. If you've got elderly living with you, if you've got, you know, your older family members, if you can do anything to prevent their exposure to the public and just keep them at home, do it, guys. Like, I've told my grandparents, I work in a supermarket, there's no need for them to leave. You know, they can just be at home all the time. It's driving them crazy, and they're really starting to really go at each other. But the reality is, I just don't want to risk their health. I don't want them going out. And because I am out mingling with the public at work almost every day, I'm making sure I keep a really safe distance from my grandparents. So I think that's the main thing we all need to remember, is social distancing. One, like, no matter where you are, just be mindful, guys. If everyone's a little bit mindful, hopefully the world can bounce back a lot quicker. Two, staying at home. Like, if you don't need to go out, don't. Like, it sucks. You can't see, you know, if you can't see your girlfriend, you can't see your friends, you know, the people you like hanging out with the most, it sucks. It really does. I get it. And, you know, we've got some hard times ahead, guys. I don't see this ending anytime soon. Maybe we could see some restrictions sort of lowered a little bit depending on where you live in the world and what your infection rate is like. But I do not see life going back to normal anytime soon. I think 2020 is a bit of a scrap year, to be quite honest, and I think 2021 is probably going to be the year where everything sort of starts to bounce back, hopefully. But once again, guys, just my sincere thoughts to you and your families, and I hope you're all doing well and you're staying healthy, and you're just doing everything you can to protect yourself and those around you. I do apologise that this is kind of untoy related, but I also thought I'd throw in at the end here, guys, if you're a collector, there's plenty you guys can do to keep yourself busy. You can clean your figures, dust your shelves, rearrange your shelves, come up with interesting new display ideas. I know I'm going to do that. I've got a couple more things to film tonight, and after I finish filming those, I'm actually going to break out some of these figures that I just recently rearranged for you. And I'm going to probably play around with it a little bit in my own time, just as a little bit of a de-stress exercise, because I find when I'm rearranging figures or cleaning figures, I find it very, very stress relieving. And I have been bored out of my mind just bouncing off the walls, because during the week it's not so bad because I'm at work, so then coming home is a bit of a reprieve, but literally being stuck inside the entire weekend has been driving me a little bit nuts. But luckily I don't have a great amount of days off every week. This is my main, I get 3 days off this week, next week I've got 1 day off. So actually a really, really good time to be working full-time, so I don't have to be stuck in these four walls all the time. On the bright side, these four walls do look pretty amazing with all these figures, so I am very grateful for that. I don't have a dull surrounding. The stuff you can do, guys, if you're a figure collector, you know, just keep yourself occupied. It's not going to be easy. I myself am going to try and invest more time into my video games. I thought I'd get in and get Final Fantasy VII the other day, since the shops will probably be shut starting tomorrow. So yeah, I plan to play that. I wouldn't mind getting back into some drawing, and I'm also going to catch up on a heap of editing and filming for the YouTube. But that's kind of a given any weekend or any sort of time I have spare. But a lot more free time on our hands, guys. Let's use it wisely, and once again, I really hope you're all staying safe and taking care of those around you. Alright, fellow collectors, I won't worry with my usual outro today, because this was a lot more of a serious video and more of an informative video. I'm doing well, the people around me are doing well, and I hope yours are too. Stay safe, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye for now.